Get ready for the action, because the Mercedes boss Toto Wolff is sounding the alarm about the upcoming Formula One engine decision. He says he would be incredibly surprised and disappointed if the FIA's ruling on additional design and upgrade opportunities influences the intense fight against Ferrari at the very front of the grid. We dive deep into what this means for the championship battle and why Wolff believes the current competitive pecking order should remain undisturbed.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to hold it with one hand? The PopSocket's Pop Grip gives you a secure grip, works as a phone stand, and even lets you swap the top for a fresh new look. Simple, useful, and perfect for everyday phone use. Click the link in the comments to grab yours on Amazon.
Next up, we look at the crucial implications of the FIA's engine catch-up system. Toto Wolff is crystal clear. The intention of the additional development and upgrade opportunities system is strictly for teams to catch up, not to leapfrog their rivals. We break down the specific rules, including the 2% deficit threshold, and what this means for teams like Ferrari, who are openly eyeing this system as a chance to close the gap against Mercedes. We also hear from Ferrari team principal Fred Vasseur, who sees the ADUO as a massive opportunity to slash the deficit against Mercedes, suggesting an upgrade could ignite a full-on title challenge, especially with aerodynamic changes underway. But are rivals questioning the engine performance itself, and what strategic choices are being made that could affect the entire development process? Find out the intrigue building around the manufacturer's potential. Finally, we look at the bigger picture for Formula One as the sport embraces commercial growth. F1 CEO Stefano Domenicali explains how the pinnacle of motorsport can learn from American sports like the NFL and NBA, focusing on the importance of a shared vision between teams. Don't miss this analysis on balancing the fierce on-track battle with the commercial reality of the paddock. Stay tuned right now for more. Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff has issued a strong warning to the FIA, insisting that any imminent ruling regarding additional design and upgrade opportunities, ADUO, for Formula One engines must not alter the current competitive order between the top manufacturers. Wolff stated he would be surprised and disappointed if the ruling influences the fight against Ferrari at the front of the grid. A critical decision is pending from the governing body concerning which manufacturers are deemed sufficiently behind to be granted engine upgrade opportunities. Ferrari is reportedly anticipating inclusion in the group eligible for one such upgrade, viewing the system as a means to close the power deficit against Mercedes. However, Wolff believes the current competitive gap is minimal, suggesting that only one manufacturer, he indicated, appears to need assistance. He stressed that granting upgrades to rivals would undermine the established pecking order, emphasizing that the ADUO system was intended as a catch-up mechanism, not a mechanism for teams to leapfrog ahead. Ferrari team principal Fred Vasseur confirmed this ambition at the Chinese Grand Prix, stating that the ADUO would be an opportunity to close a power gap estimated at 0.8 seconds, potentially igniting a title challenge. Questions are emerging among Ferrari's rivals regarding whether their engine performance deficit is justified, citing strategic design choices, such as a small turbo and exhaust wing, as factors affecting their power potential. Wolff called for absolute precision and transparency from the FIA, cautioning against gamesmanship and ensuring that ADUO decisions are based purely on merit. The FIA is scheduled to make its determination following the Miami Grand Prix, which will dictate which manufacturers receive upgrades for the current season and 2027. The rules stipulate that manufacturers judged to be 2% adrift of the benchmark receive one upgrade this season and one in 2027, while those 4% or more adrift receive two upgrades in the current season and two in 2027. Manufacturers judged ahead will be ineligible for upgrades. Despite monitoring the situation closely using proprietary analytics, Wolff expressed confidence that the FIA will uphold the integrity of the sport by ensuring ADUO remains a mechanism for catching up, not for leapfrogging. Mercedes Formula One chief Toto Wolff has strongly cautioned the FIA against allowing in-season engine upgrades to disrupt the championship battle, emphasizing that the system is designed for teams to catch up, not to leapfrog rivals. Wolff stated that he would be surprised and disappointed if the FIA permits such upgrades that interfere with the competitive standings. Mercedes currently holds a significant advantage, having won all 3 races this season to establish a 45-point lead over Ferrari at the top of the World Championship. Despite this lead, rival teams are seeking ways to close the gap through the FIA's Additional Development and Upgrade Opportunities, or ADUO system. Speaking to reporters, Wolff stressed the core principle of ADUO: to catch up but not to leapfrog rivals. He insisted that any decision granted under ADUO must be executed with absolute precision and clarity and transparency, explicitly stating that gamesmanship hasn't got any place here. The ADUO rule permits any manufacturer deemed more than 2% behind the leading engine performance to receive an extra upgrade opportunity, subject to 3 review periods throughout the season. Ferrari team principal Fred Vasseur had previously suggested ADUO would be an opportunity for them to close the gap to Mercedes. Wolff maintained that the system is intended to prevent large performance deficits across the field. He expressed confidence in the FIA's ability to protect the sport's integrity, adding, "You don't want to allow an ADUO to a team that suddenly leapfrogs someone. The ADUO was always meant as a catch-up mechanism and not as a leapfrog mechanism." Separately, F1 team principals are scheduled to meet with FIA officials to discuss potential rule adjustments concerning the electrical energy used by engines for the Miami Grand Prix, following recent concerns raised by drivers and team figures regarding the 2026 engine performance and safety issues. Wolff indicated that discussions have been constructive, focusing on solutions that act with a scalpel and not with a baseball bat, aiming to evolve the rules while maintaining high racing standards. An inquiry has surfaced within the Formula One community regarding the most compelling or best track that has been retired from active racing. The question, posed by GP Blog, seeks to identify which circuit offers the most significant racing pedigree or atmosphere, despite being no longer on the calendar. This discussion taps into the enduring fascination surrounding iconic F1 venues and the legacy they represent in the sport. Formula One is experiencing rapid commercial development, marked by a significant growth in its global fan base, including increased appeal among younger and female audiences, particularly in the United States. This expansion has been fueled by media initiatives such as the Netflix series Drive to Survive and F1, the movie. In an exclusive interview with Motorsport.com, F1 CEO Stefano Domenicali suggested that the pinnacle of motorsport can learn valuable lessons from American sports leagues like the NFL and NBA, specifically regarding business discussions. Domenicali highlighted the importance of the owners' meetings in American sports, where business strategy is central. What we need to take away from the team discussion is their, let's say, tactical discussion where they feel that they have an advantage. There are a lot of things that we'll never copy from American sports, but there is one element where I do believe that we should learn, because in the U.S., there is the owners' meeting when the owners talk about business, Domenicali stated. He emphasized the need for a systemic approach where teams align on a shared vision beyond on-track competition. We need to do a step as a system where everyone understands that on the track you have to fight. You can steal one engineer from the others or the drivers. But when you are together and you think with a vision of the sport in mind, you should be on the same page. Domenicali acknowledged that commercial projects have positively impacted teams, citing increased reach and sponsorship deals. He urged teams to embrace beneficial projects, stating, "Don't be selfish. Think if there is a project that is giving a big, positive effect to everyone, let's dive into it." However, the commercial reality in the F1 paddock differs from American sports due to the ownership structure. Unlike in the NFL, where one individual owns one team, most F1 team principals are not owners, leading them to prioritize sporting concerns over commercial strategy. Domenicali explained this dynamic, In American sports, there is one guy that is owning one team. And therefore, if you meet with all the owners of the NFL, you have one person and they know that it's their business. We are in a sort of situation that the vast majority of our team principals are not the owner. So they may correctly have their interests on a topic that is sometimes not related to what could be good for the business. Therefore, we need to grow together in understanding that the more you're involved at the business level, the more you need to think, and sometimes you need to take away your cap of the interest of the team. Dominic summarized the necessary mindset with the adage, League Sunday, Business Monday. While fierce competition is essential on the track, a broader vision is required off it. The challenge for F1 and the FIA remains balancing commercial interests against the sport's DNA to retain traditional fans while attracting a new demographic, a crucial balancing act intensified by new technical regulations.